Salutations. Good morning everybody. I just want to talk about I just want to drop some seeds today. I want to facilitate you all on a thought. So we all know what's going on with COVID-19, the coronavirus, and how it is impacting the community of melanated people. I will say melanated people because black, brown, or Latino and Asian communities, we are being affected at a disproportionate rate than our Caucasian brothers and sisters. And also, in the beginning, we were told, you know, there was media put out that, and doctors, even African doctors and Asian doctors, that said, oh, it's something in the African Americans' melanin that they seem to be resistant to the coronavirus. And so a lot of us didn't pay any attention to it. We just kind of moseyed on about our day. And this has been, I mean, this November 17th, the first case of the coronavirus was recorded in, I think, Wuhan, China, or Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. Charge it to my head, not my heart. I'm really just talking off the top of my head. I have a few notes written down, but I am driving. So when this first started, again, we probably, just like we did SARS and Ebola, oh, that's over there, because that's the same thing I did. Oh, it ain't got nothing to do with me, that's over there. Then you start seeing the cases getting closer and closer to home. And then we were mandated to, that we may end up having to if you felt symptoms, to quarantine and to stay away from your family for 14 days. And then you started seeing the cases getting closer. So you started seeing them pop up in ports like San Francisco, cases being reported, Los Angeles, New York, where a lot of people frequent travel international flights. And at this time still, our White House resident didn't shut the borders down. But Russia did, and I believe Afghanistan and a few others, they shut their borders completely down. So their cases, they have cases, but they aren't a huge, Italy as well. Italy was affected. And all of this, in all of this, first, I do want to say, I'm not emotionless, but my heart goes out to families who've been affected by this, by COVID-19. I am a mother of a child who passed away from asthma, and I often think right now at this time, people with compromised health conditions, wow, what does that mean for them, and what does it mean for the family? And that's something I'll address a little bit later on. But first, right now, I want to just address the fact that we didn't prepare, because it didn't pertain to me or us at this time. A lot of us felt that way. And then you started seeing the mass hysteria with the toilet paper, and everybody running out to get some dang toilet paper. Okay, I can understand that. If you may have to be sheltered in place, but I believe that was a sheeple experiment, like herding the sheep, not people, but sheeple, a social experiment. If the virus affects me if I breathe in, why am I buying toilet paper to wipe my ass? Good question. But that'll be on another tangent as well. Today, I'm just here to make you think. I'm just here to facilitate. I implemented a community garden, and I started healthy eating maybe like 7 years ago. Not 7 years ago, but there are things that I have eliminated from my diet over the years. Not saying that I don't eat too much sometimes, because I do, but what I do eat, I still eat the things that are prescribed to me as according to what our Creator deemed as food and not food. I'll just throw that out there. And so we're going to address that too, food, because that was another key element in this whole thing. They showed, oh, Asians are getting this because they're eating bats and rats and those little scaly, ugly anteater looking things. I can't even say the name, so I'm not going to even butcher it right now. And they have a black market, so they're eating snakes, and they're cross-contaminated when they're killing. They have a market where they're killing the animals right there, and all the stuff is being cross-contaminated. Here, dropping another dime. A seed. Cross-contaminated food is transferred from animal to human. Okay. Again, talk about that later. But I'm on a facilitating journey today. I'm just here to make you think. I'm going to throw things out there today. I'm not going to give you all the answers to everything. I just want to make you think. So, again, the black community, not affected because of our melanin. Then you start seeing the cases in underserved black communities where they are dying by a disproportionate rate to people who have caught it and who have health care and don't live in a health desert and a food desert, and who are aware of what's going on and not just look on something on social media and fly off with it and take it as the gospel. We have to start researching. We have to start reading. We have to start paying attention. Often I'm quiet, and if you don't hear from me for a while, I'm still studying, putting up writing lessons. But the Father really has taught me how important words are. Words can be a weapon. Words can be healing. Words can be used to encourage, discourage, and start wars. We watch it all the time. We watch it all the time, and I'm not going to even edify or glorify the person that does it. Our White House resident, I'm not going to do it. I'm not. But we see it all the time, how words can be used and how powerful they are. They go forth to perform that which they were intended to perform. And I know the Father's word doesn't return to him void, because it always produces something. So in my journey, I'm a hairdresser by trade, and I'm going to talk about that too. And I implemented a community garden, and my email is hairdresser gone gardening. And you know, when I did it, when I came up with the name, because my garden, the community's garden, nothing is mine, it's for the people. And it's been something that I've been entrusted with, and I can't wait until the world opens back up so that our community can really benefit from what my vision and the vision that the other people in the transformative climate communities has, to see these underserved communities flourish and the resources we're given. So we want to see that happen, and we want to see the community benefit from the healthy eating and choices and all of those things. You know, again, as I'm gonna say, black people, we always waiting for somebody to give us something, and we don't ever think about the fact that when somebody gives us something, we're indebted to them. My motto is, if I feed you, I can starve you. So with that, I went into, when I graduated high school, I wanted to be a nurse for a hot minute. And that just wasn't, I love people and I love to serve, but I had children young, and so I needed to make some money, and I didn't want to work for nobody else. And I needed money now, and so it took me 9 months, and then 9 months and some change, because I ended up pregnant with my 4th child before I graduated from beauty college, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I needed to get in business. I needed to work. So I decided working for myself was a way to stay financially secure, and I could raise my children, and with the craft and the fruit of my hands, I could earn a living, and that's what I did. And when the coronavirus started to get closer to home, and there was a press conference saying that as of March 16th, we're closing down non-essential businesses. We are, the non-essential business list consists of blah, 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 blah. And yeah, cosmetologists, barbers, manicurists, eyelash, makeup artists, beauty supplies, all of those things were closed down, shut down, because we're not considered essential. And for like a couple couple of weeks, I was just really on a rant. So I really got quiet because I'm like, Nia, shut your mouth. Be quiet. Don't say anything, because there is always a lesson in you being silent. You start talking now, you full of emotion, you're panicking, because what are you supposed to do? You got bills to pay, you got a baby to feed, you got you have things that you're accountable for. So what are you gonna do? So first 3-4 days, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm in school as well, so I'm laying around and brainstorming, writing things down, but I'm also able to finish my schoolwork, get my assignments in, and hey, I'm like, okay, this is okay. And then as I'm watching the pandemic continue to flourish and reach closer to home, I'm like, golly, you know, people are really being affected. And what do? Okay, I'm non-essential, self-employed, so which means I don't qualify for unemployment. I have a little bit of money saved, but who wants to tap into their savings and then wonder what you're gonna do next? Because again, every 2 weeks, it's like, oh yeah, no, you know, to flatten the curve, we're gonna push it back 14 more days. No pun intended. Leadership is a heavy duty responsibility. It really is. And when you are in leadership, you are the face of the agendas. A lot of times we think that we leaders in government get a chance to pick the agenda, but you are a face for the agenda, and you take a lot of the beating, right? But we remember, and if we remember, again, words planting a seed, make America great again. Make America great again. The first industrial revolution happened after, was when the missionaries and the conquestors or the explorers came to the new Americas to discover land. No, they came to take and rape and the resources and create industry. And guess what they brought with them? Free workers. So again, in this third industrial revolution, because we've had a second one, I was doing World War I and II, we're gonna take a look at this. The third industrial revolution, make America great again. It's not being done covertly, it's very overt, in your face, and if you don't catch it, you're gonna miss it. But what we're gonna do is deem people who are as non-essential and as essential. Who's still essential? Maids, janitors, food service. Even our educators have been put online, but they're still essential because our children need to be educated. But we could educate our children at home. That's a whole nother subject as well. But in our community, we don't look at these things, we don't pay attention to these things, because you are going to be conveyed as a conspiracy theorist. But no, it's not conspiracy theorist, it's pay attention, listen to what's being said, listen to conversations. Sometimes we're so busy listening to respond that we don't hear what's going on. Make America great again. Okay, we're going to deem a group of people non-essential, and then we're going to tell them, you know what, you small business, go ahead and get a small business loan, and then after a year turn to grant, but we only got this much money. But guess who's getting all the money? Big corporations, big pharmacies, people who work in government, and they giving you $1,200. Look at what a stimulus package is. Stimulus. What is a stimulus? Why would I take trillions of dollars out of the economy to stimulate or to give to people? Because I want to watch their spending behavior. I want to stimulate the economy. I want to see what they're doing. Because guess what? Large corporations like Amazon and Google and all these other, Walmart, they are in the bed with people who are in government, who have stock in these companies. So go on and give them a few dollars, because they ain't going to do nothing but put it back into the economy, because that's what we do. We're not going to try to build a business, build something that can sustain us. We're going to stimulate. So give them this money, and let's watch and see the spending habits of the sheeple who went and bought toilet paper to wipe their ass, but not masks, right? So then you have now mass masks are considered essential items. You cannot go into a store without a mask on your face. But people, again, weren't worried about that. I ain't tripping up. I'm not wearing no mask. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. Okay. Now you can't get a mask if you don't. Now you can't go into the store without a mask. So again, going back to unprepared and not being prepared, not paying attention, not watching the signs of the times, not watching what people say. We need to start building. We talk about community, we talk about it, but we ain't about it. I don't talk a whole lot, and if anybody know me, they'll know I've never been a talker in any aspect of anything. If I have something to say, I'll say it, but I don't argue. I don't engage a whole lot, but I'm about a lot of action. I'm about action. I'm about putting forth that which already been put in my mind to do, and do it. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And that's what we have to do as people, as the community, as, get involved. I said that yesterday, get involved with politics and our community and start building. But our community is our platform. Our community is where people are suffering right now. And, I've said it too, and then the Father has given me insight on that. Quit trying. It ain't about who you want to reach. It ain't about who you think need gonna do it. The people you least expect to catch on and to get involved are the people that I'm sending. Look for the people to come that I'm sending. Quit looking for the people you want to wake up and come. People still sleep. And it's okay. People get upset when you say people are conscious. We got folks that's walking zombies. They sleepwalking. Because I know they still hanging out and they still standing in lines to buy stuff that's going to keep them sick. Buy food, buy weed, buy pills, buy whatever. But you're not thinking about the internal aspect of yourself. Healing your gut, your mind, your body, your spirit. And a lot of people want to jump into spirituality. I'm not going to go there either with it, because you know what? You can't get your heart and soul right until you get your mind right. And you can't get your mind right until what you ingest is pure and sustainable. And so in our community, we have a platform and we have to start building. Economics is so important, but we don't think about economics because we think that don't have nothing to do with us. But we are the biggest consumers that there are. We need to be the distributors of the right stuff. We need to learn how to come to our community engagement meetings, get involved, have a voice, take back our streets, take back our community centers, bring things there that are tangible for the people in our community, the underserved, the unemployed. When I was told that I'm non-essential, I was out, ain't this about a blimp and a bunch of other stuff? Non-essential. I'm essential, but I can't go to work. So like I said, I laid there, and for a little bit I started to really get frustrated. I didn't get depressed because, happiness and all of that stuff is based on what's happening and what's going on. I learned how to be content. I know how to be content. I've endured some things that nobody can imagine. Some things that, hey, I'm going to keep my wits about myself so that I know how to do the next best thing. So the next best thing is, me and my aunt had a conversation the other day, and she said, baby, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. She said, I'm happy that you are using everything that you've seen, and you look and you see the need and you meet it. And that's how I was taught. If you see a need, you meet the need. There's always room to be relevant and to still be in business. As a businesswoman, you find a way to continue to stay relevant. No one can deem me irrelevant or dispensable. I'm going to continue to stay undeniable, indispensable, because there is so much more in me. And sometimes pressure and the things you have to endure will bring out the things that been locked away. So I said, deemed non-essential. I'm laying there, I'm like, hell, non-essential, okay. Well, I ain't going to flip a burger, and I'm not going to do this. I am, and put myself in a direct contact with the very population that don't believe that that they could be affected. Won't stay in the house to flatten the curve so we can get off house arrest. Some of y'all never thought y'all be on house arrest, huh? I've been a good citizen. I ain't never got in trouble. Don't go to jail. And I'm on house arrest. I'm on lockdown. I'm just being funny, but yeah. So, she said, baby, she said, you remember in Black Panther when T'Challa and his, I think it was his cousin, they were fighting and he was upside down and he was beaten. His cousin was, I can't think of the Black Panther's name. I can't think of that. I'm blank on that. But she said his mom, he was upside down. He was looking at his mom, and his mom told him, remember who you... Okay, again, because of this message, I'm just having a morning, like I said, I'm just trying to facilitate everyone on a journey. Anybody who wants to come. Again, it ain't for everybody. I ain't for everybody, and what I'm talking about is not everybody's cup of tea. But the people that are awaken and following the signs of time and watching how they making America great again, and how they using the small, disparaging communities. Why in the world would you only have 3 ventilators at a hospital in the Bronx? You have women, children, men, young and old, dying at a rapid rate where they're going off to islands, off of islands close to Rockers Island, burying bodies, having prisoners go dig graves for these bodies of these people that are dying. 418 or 68 people died in an hour last night in New York. And it's absurd. It's crazy. And then you have this other part of social experiment that I'm going to talk about. They're going to let y'all butts out the house and y'all going to run out and y'all be the first ones that end up sick again. And they want to see how many going to die after this. Because it's an experiment. This is an experiment to see the behavior of people. Not only the behavior of people, the pandemic and the virus is real. Don't get me wrong. The virus is real. But we're not really informed. So this virus is going to usher in another component, vaccination. These big corporations, these Bill Gates and all these other people, they believe in eugenics. And who they want to get rid of, they want to exterminate. Not people that look like them. We are not the minority. Colored people aren't the minority. And colored people want to always say, oh, that's black people. No. People with melanated people who have been scattered all over the continent and the globe, and who have adopted the identity of their oppressors, because that's what a lot of people say. Because you can see Sikhs, you see Asians, I see people from India, I see people from Panama and Dominican, darker than me, who will adopt the identity of their oppressor, because there's so much self-hate in our communities. And that's another thing, self-hatred. So it ain't hard to kill somebody who already don't like themselves, because it ain't hard for me to make you not like your brethren or your brother or your sister, because if you don't like you don't like nobody. That's a given. That was my mantra in the house. My kids, you better not fight each other. Y'all all y'all got. You team up and you fight another group of somebody. You don't never fight each other, because y'all all y'all got. And if there's not a united front, and if people see that they can penetrate the circle, they can penetrate and then come in and control. And that's what's wrong with us. They penetrate our communities and then they come in control. The first thing they come in and do, they create a scare, and we're going to give you this money and we're going to give you this. And if you don't get your kids immunized, you can't go to school, or we're going to take your food stamps, or we're going to do this and that. And that is something that I've been talking about too. The community garden, having a garden, your food, sustaining yourself, the sustainability. How do you sustain yourself? Because you should always have staples, some staples at home. Or I'm talking about main ingredients. Some rice, some beans, some peanut butter. You might not like it, but some peanut butter. Some beans. Have you something green, some tomatoes, some greens, some cabbage, something growing out there, because you don't always have to eat no meat. And that's another thing. This virus is okay. It is affecting us with already pre-existing conditions. Diabetes is not something that is prominent in the black community. Diabetes came after we introduced processed food, eating things that aren't for us, that don't keep us healthy. Because if you can eat some pig and then your blood pressure go up, that's a problem. Right there, I should tell you something. The first thing they tell you, if the doctor tell you you shouldn't eat a pig, or you shouldn't eat a rat, or you shouldn't eat a bat, you won't eat a rat or a bat, but you'll eat a pig, which almost is in the same species, because it's a garbage disposal and it don't sweat and it don't release toxins, and then you eat it and then it releases everything that's in it in your body, but you say you swear by it because you're gonna pray over it. And I'm telling you about that too. I mean, like I said, I ain't gonna over spiritualize anything, but praying and asking something to do what it was created to do is asking it to do what it's created to do. If a pig is garbage disposal and eats disease, then you're asking it to then go ahead and let this disease permeate my body and bless it to do what it was created to do, and it was going to perform that which it was created to perform, because that's what words do, that's what things that we put in our body do. So we need to get back to healthy foliage, healthy food, healthy vegetables, drink some water. Yeah, a lot of us do live in food deserts, healthcare deserts, where they don't want to do anything but immunize, and every corner store got a mom and pop somebody else that ain't from our community in it, selling us junk, and our kids eating processed food all day. And then we talk about they got ADHD. No, they got red dye number 9, and they got I can't sit down because I'm not I can't sit still because my brain is hungry, and I can't think straight because I'm fidgety and I'm full of sugar, which is addictive as well. And even when we do get government assistance, food stamps or whatever, we'll go buy the processed food. You got free money. Buy the best. Why would you buy stuff like you trying to live on a budget when you got free money? Don't go sell them. Nourish them kids. Feed them kids. Yeah, they athletic, but as soon as they get into sports, they breaking something, tearing something, because their bodies aren't fortified to take all of what the sports do to it. Because from day one, they little machines. You've been feeding little machines sugar and preservatives. Okay, I'm off that. Anyway, what does COVID-19 mean to the melanated community? It means they're gonna start vaccinating. They're gonna further compromise your immune system, and then when the next big virus they create come out, if you don't react to this one, it's going to activate in your body and kill your butt or keep you sick, because we don't even know at this point what this COVID-19 will do to the rest of the body. We know that they say that it has lasting effects, so it causes inflammation first in your lungs and creates make your lungs fibrous, but it also causes inflammation. It says it's been known to affect the brain and the heart and even your skeletal system. So we don't know what the effects are. The effects are could be 5, 10, 15 years from now, just like chicken pox. It's a virus, and then it goes dormant, and then you pop up 70 with shingles and it kill you. We don't know what these things do. We don't. And we got people that are mad scientists in labs being paid, creating things and setting them free at appointed times, and we're not paying attention. So again, I know I went off on a tangent, and I said I was going to plant some seeds in here to make you think. So this is what I just want to plant these seeds here. Community, economy, media. Start controlling your own narrative in your own community. Everybody want to promote themselves. Everybody want to put themselves on the platform. Start controlling the narrative in your community. Stop subscribing to the stereotypical crap that they say that we gonna do. As soon as they give us some money, we finna go buy some tennis shoes. Don't own stock in a bit of Nike. There's a thing called Robinhood. There's a thing called Coin Purse. Coin Purse is Bitcoin digital trading, where you can go on and trade and buy stock in digital currency, because what they're doing to the bankless or the society, a community of people who don't have banking, they are going to turn Bitcoin into, they're going to turn, money is digital anyway. you see that, I go on my account and transfer money from my savings to my checking and click back, it's already over there. It ain't nothing but digital, it's coded. That's all it is. Yeah, we still have paper currency, but in a minute, we won't have that either. And so while we sitting up here locked down, panicking, sheltered in place, all of the agendas are being implemented. Believe that. And it's not to help us. They don't want to help us. They need somebody. They need workforce. They need workforce. So that is another thing I want to talk about. Being indispensable. Workforce. We need to get back to teaching a trade. Teaching trades. Things that you do with your hand. You're going to always need a plumber. You're going to always need a carpenter or a builder. People have gone so far out of what is fundamental. Yeah, education is absolutely fundamental. Love it. Love it. Please get it. I love the brilliant minds. I love watching children and watch how their minds think and grow. But let's get our kids in some STEM. Get them off them dang video games. Because every morning I've been taking HDMI cords and hiding them. Get yourself up. Get out. Get that homework done. Get out here. Figure out how to put something together. Help build something. Build another chicken coop. Do something where your mind, stimulate your mind. Because what it's doing is programming. Because just like they told y'all, oh, it's a coronavirus. People is buying toilet paper. People running buying toilet paper. That video game keeps their mind captivated. As soon as something says, okay, shoot, walk, do, go. I stop even using my GPS because I get lost on GPS because GPS don't know where it's going. But guess what I have? I have an awesome sense of direction. I can go somewhere one time and never forget how to get there. Now, I might transpose numbers and might forget your name. If I see your face, I'll never forget I saw your face. And if it's, I'm working really hard on remembering names. But also, if it's somewhere I've been, I can always get back there. I can get to where I'm going and go back to where I came from. That is something I have good honing mechanism, maybe pigeon somewhere. No, our black dollar doesn't bounce. We need to get back into economy. We bankrupt by midnight. As soon as we get some money, we give it back to the economy. We give it back to the people that it came from. And we don't have any wealth within our community. We won't buy with each other. We don't trade amongst each other because we get in competition, and that is epigenetic trauma created during slavery, the Willie Lynch letter, and we subscribe to it daily. Daily. We size each other up. We want to see who doing what, who not, who buying what. And I bet you can't wear a pair of $200 tennis shoes nowhere. Who gonna see you? Who gonna see you? You the best makeup artist? Where you going? You can't go in the store without a mask, so only thing you're gonna be doing now is putting on some eyelashes and drying on some eyebrows. There has to be something to sustain us. We have to figure out a way to stay essential. Sustainability. Go to your city hall meeting. See what they're doing with this money. $750,000 was allocated for small businesses. But guess what it all went to? Businesses that aren't as small as the ones that you think they are. Businesses that have 2 and 3 employees. There's a lot of different stipulations and things that I'm not going to even get into. But anyway, again, don't ever allow yourself to be deemed non-essential. Stay essential. Stay indispensable. Get involved. Understand. Read. Quit letting doctors tell you stuff. Doctors practice medicine. Yep, after going to school for 8 years, they go into a residency and they operate and they participate in a hospital. I mean, they work in a hospital, and then they either go off onto their own practices, but they're residents. But you are practicing medicine. And the Hippocratic oath is first to do no harm. But you have people in the healthcare profession who don't even see what's being done. Especially these doctors and these big pharmacies and these scientists, people who are creating these things. They know what it does to the body. What about the side effects of the stuff that you prescribe into people? What about what these doctors putting in these kids' bodies? Oh no, it's just this, it's just that. No, it's not. It's just you get paid for every child you immunize, especially if you serve a community where there's Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal will pay you, so you are paid to practice eugenics and to make these babies sick and to give them ADHD and to give them autism and to inject them with this crap that 40, 30 years later they're gonna have rheumatoid arthritis or metals in their brain and disorders and stuff affecting their hearing. And I said I was gonna stay on track. So I'm just here to make you think. I just want to facilitate on a journey. I've been interrupted like 3 times. This phone kept turning off. We need to get back into community, building, economics, pouring back into our community. Quit exploiting our people. Quit exploiting our little girls, our little boys. Quit making them think all they can be is a thug or a basketball or football player. They got brilliant minds. And that starts with us. Quit taking them on these journeys of grandeur where they can have instant gratification. Nothing is instant. It takes a lot of hard work. I just have to tell mines all the time, oh, you driving this car? You know how long I've been working, how long I stand on my feet. You know how tired I am at the end of the day? Work hard. Nobody gives me anything. And I don't want anything that I don't earn. I want to earn it. Give me a seat at the table. Let me show you what I can do. You either going to be an economic engine or you going to be the one that employs the economic engine. Supply and demand. That's why you have bosses and you have employees. What are you willing to do? What kind of work? What you willing to put in? What you willing to invest? Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. But again, subscribe to my YouTube, Keeping It Royal. I will be doing some more, having more conversations. I'm planning to have a community engagement webinar because I want to engage the community on what Inside Out Garden is. I want to talk about the hive. May is Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month. And I want to have open forum about what does COVID-19 mean to the African American community? What does it mean to us? How are the dynamics going to change what we do, how we operate? How is it going to affect us economically, socially, physically, mentally? How is COVID-19 and this being introduced, and what is it going to do to our community? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to see some of your posts. I'll read them, and I won't get to, when I do the live webinar, I won't get to engage a whole lot to answer as many questions that probably will come up. But I would like for you to throw some things out there, some questions that you have. Ask me a few questions. I'll try to add those into what it is I'm going to talk about. I appreciate you again. I thank you for allowing me the platform to engage you all. And I hope I stayed on track. I know I got off on a tangent. I'm driving. But those things just were on my heart this morning. Economics, community, profit, buying and selling with each other, loving on each other. That's the best, the hugest component. Caring about each other, community pride, national pride. You're not prejudiced if you love being black. You only prejudice when you withhold what is due to somebody. And we the only people who have been withheld our due diligence, our due justice, our reparations, our restitution, and been denied our contributions. Okay, so I love you all. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.